Have you ever stared at a cardboard box with your whole work life in it? A mug, a plant, a few pens, your ID badge. And suddenly, the building you walked into every morning no longer knows your name. If you've lost your job and feel like someone unplugged the power from your chest, this is for you. Because here's a truth we rarely say out loud. Work is not just money. It's rhythm, recognition, a nameplate that tells the world who we are. And when it disappears, the silence is not just in your calendar, it's inside your head. The thoughts start. Who am I now? What's wrong with me? Am I already falling behind? That weight you're feeling, that numbness, that sudden burst of panic, it makes sense. You lost a role, and your mind is trying to decide if you also lost your worth. Viktor Frankl would place a hand on that question and turn it carefully. He'd say, your worth was never your role. Roles come and go. Meaning is what you aim at, and the human soul is built to aim at something beyond itself. When that aim is gone, we fall into what he called the existential vacuum boredom that tastes like despair. Restless scrolling, a sense that time is sliding past with no friction. So if your days feel shapeless right now, you're not broken, you're unmoored. We can build a mooring. Let's slow down. Imagine the picture. You wake up later than usual because there's nowhere to be. Your phone shows 100 job postings and you feel sick before you even click. Coffee tastes hollow. You try to be productive, but there's a fog around your mind. You're used to the pressure that forced motion. Without it, everything feels heavier. And then comes the whisper, maybe I'm not needed anymore. Maybe my useful part has been cut out. Frankl's answer isn't a pep talk or a cliché. It's a way of seeing your life that quietly steals power back from loss. He said we find meaning in 3 main ways. First, by creating the work of our hands and minds. Second, by experiencing love, beauty, nature, friendship, the things that meet us and change us. Third, by the attitude we choose toward suffering that we cannot avoid. Creation, experience, attitude. You've lost a formal job, yes, but those 3 doors are still open. You can create today. You can experience, deepen, and give today. And you can choose who you become in the middle of this painter day. Let's make it real. Start with a simple separation. There are 3 layers to what your job gave you: a paycheck, a role, and a contribution. The paycheck is about survival. The role is about identity. The contribution is about meaning, what you gave that mattered. A layoff tears away the paycheck and the role. But contribution, that's your compass. You can carry that through any storm. So ask, gently, what problem was I solving that made me feel most alive? Was it helping people understand complex things? Was it making systems run smoother? Was it building trust, organizing chaos, or simply showing up with steady, kind energy? Strip away the title. What was the contribution that felt like you? Because now we design your day around contribution again, even before a new job appears. Frankl would say meaning is something we find by leaning into responsibility toward a task, toward a person, toward a principle bigger than our mood. That means your day can have purpose again, not because a manager assigns it, but because you choose it. Here's a calm blueprint. Give yourself 1 act of meaning before noon. Small, concrete, aimed outside yourself. Build a clear thing that serves someone. If you're a designer, create a 1-page guide that solves a tiny pain for freelancers and share it. If you're in operations, map a simple process template and gift it to a community group. If you're in customer care, write a script other job seekers can use to contact potential mentors. 20 to 40 minutes, 1 helpful artifact every morning. Creation brings the ground back under your feet. Second, schedule one encounter of meaning every day. A phone call where you truly listen. A slow walk where you notice sunlight on brick. Reading 2 pages that lift your gaze. These are not luxuries, they are fuel. Because experience enlarges the soul's room to breathe, especially when your mind wants to shrink the world to a single loss. Third, choose one small attitude in a place that hurts. This is the hardest and the strongest. If the job search tightens your chest, your attitude might be, I will meet rejection with humor and self-respect. If family asks you again how it's going, your attitude might be, I'll answer honestly without apology. You can't control the no in your inbox. You can control who you are while hearing it. But let's be honest about the mornings. The dread, the way your mind wakes up already failing the day. There's a trick in Frankl's work for the pressure that builds when you try to force results. We suffer when our attention gets trapped on ourselves, our pressure, our heart rate, our fear that we won't perform. Dereflection is the gentle art of turning your gaze outward again. Ask one question as soon as your feet touch the floor. Who or what needs me today? Then name a person, a problem, or a principle, and aim your first energy there. If interviews terrify you now, if the thought of a conference call makes your hands shake, paradoxical intention can help. It sounds strange, but it's powerful. Instead of fighting the anxiety, you softly exaggerate it on purpose. Before the call, say to yourself, I'm going to be the most awkward version of me for the first 30 seconds. I'll even let my voice wobble. In that moment, anxiety loses its secret weapon. It can no longer surprise you. You rob it of humiliation by choosing it. And then you move. You ask your first question. You focus on their needs. The spotlight leaves your pulse and lands on the task. There's another trap we have to name: free time that turns into a black ocean. When you had a job, your calendar forced a shape on your day. Without it, it's easy to drift, then hate yourself for drifting, then drift harder to escape the shame. Let's build a meaning schedule, simple, humane, flexible. Morning, one act of creation. Midday, one encounter of meaning. Afternoon, one act of service. Even tiny help, someone else apply, write a recommendation, share a resource. Evening, a 60-second log. Where did I choose my attitude today? What did I do for someone other than me? What did I make? You'll notice something subtle after a week. The ache is still there, but you've changed your posture. Instead of waiting for the world to reassign you a purpose, you are volunteering for life again. Frankl called this self-transcendence, stepping beyond your own symptoms by giving yourself to something worth more than your immediate comfort. It's not denial, it's direction. Now, let's talk about identity. The question that stings. Who am I without that email signature? We confuse 2 voices. One says, I am what I produce. The other says, I am the person who chooses to serve, even when production fails. One is fragile. The other is resilient. You control only one, the chooser. That's your unlosable identity. A practical step to anchor it. Write a short values contract with yourself for the next 30 days. 3 promises in clear words. 1. I will create and share one useful thing each morning, even if no one pays me yet. 2. I will ask one real human for a conversation each day with curiosity, not desperation. 3. I will practice one chosen attitude in a place that hurts. Put it on your wall. Sign it. This isn't magical thinking. It's meaning thinking. It gives your days dignity, even in the waiting. Around this point, a lot of us hit a wall. But I need a job. Meaning won't pay rent. You're right. The paycheck layer matters. Frankl never denies reality. He says to face necessity with clear eyes and to hold your head with dignity while you act. So, aim your job search with meaning, not panic. Instead of spraying applications into a void, pick problems you actually want to help solve. Who are the people you want to relieve? What kind of mess do you love to clean? Let your cover letters read like a human being who cares about specific pain. Interview as a partner in solving it, not a performer begging for approval. You're not selling your soul, you're offering your contribution. And because the world sometimes ignores our offerings, protect your courage. Build wins that no one can take. Finish a course, ship a project, help a neighbor, improve a tool. These don't solve the bank account, but they keep your spine straight while you solve it. Frankl would approve. You have the last freedom to choose your stance and you use it to keep your dignity alive. Midway check-in. If you've been through a layoff or identity shock, what single contribution felt most like you and how could you offer a small piece of it this week? Share it in the comments. If this is steady in your mind, consider subscribing so you don't walk this season alone. We build meaning here, one day at a time. Let's return to the part that hurts at night. The shame. The sense that you should have seen it coming, should have worked harder, should have been Be kind here. Companies are not parents. Markets are not moral judges. A layoff is not a verdict on your soul. The guilt you feel is trying to give you control. If it was my fault, I can fix it. But not everything is yours to fix. Frankl's third door attitude toward unavoidable suffering meets you right here. If you could not stop it, you can still decide what this will make of you. Bitter or brave, closed or kinder, shrunk or stretched. There's a quiet ritual I recommend for closing the old role. Write it a letter. Thank it for what it gave: skills, friends, lessons, the paycheck that fed your people. Name the costs, toothless stress, the late nights, the parts of yourself you silenced, and then say goodbye. Literally say the words, "You are complete." This isn't melodrama, it's closure. You cannot start a new chapter while hiding in the last paragraph. Now, a word on pride, the kind that keeps us from asking for help. Frankl watched people survive the worst by allowing themselves to be helped, and by giving help in return. If you can volunteer 1 hour a week right now, do it. It's not a resume trick. It's an antidote to invisibility. The moment someone looks you in the eye and says, "Thank you," your nervous system remembers, "I matter. I can still be of use." If anxiety spikes before interviews or networking, use a 2-step protocol. Step 1. Paradoxical intention. Invite the symptom on purpose. Tell yourself, "Fine, handshake, let's wobble for 10 seconds. Voice, take your time. You will feel the grip loosen." Step 2. Dereflection. Ask a specific, generous question that moves attention outward. Something like, "What problem is eating your time this week? If I had a magic wand for 2 hours, what would you want fixed?" The moment they answer, your fear has a job, and fear with a job goes quiet. Let's widen the lens for a moment. Meaning is not a luxury for the rich. It's a human necessity. Frankl warned that when life loses meaning, we don't become free, we become hungry. We stuff that hunger with distraction, with anger, with numbing. If you feel the pull to disappear into your couch, your phone, your fridge, don't scold yourself. Recognize a starving thing and feed it with the real food. Creation, encounter, chosen attitude. There's a phrase I want you to carry: mission before position. Your position was taken. Your mission cannot be. Define it in one sentence. You could say to a child, I help people feel safe when chaos hits. I turn messy data into clear action. I make hard things feel lighter. I bring quiet leadership when others panic. You can live that mission in a Fortune 500, in a small non-profit, in your apartment, on your block. The mission travels with you, and as you act, your nervous system will resist. It will say, not today, you're too tired, you're too late. Remember, you don't argue with a nervous system, you train it. Gentle repetition is your ally. Keep the morning act of creation, the midday encounter, the afternoon service, the evening log. Miss a day, don't spiral. Begin again tomorrow. Meaning is a direction, not an accomplishment. You don't hold it, you walk in it. Here's a small breathing practice to steady your stance. Sit for 60 seconds. Inhale and say in your mind, I cannot control the market. Exhale, I can choose my contribution today. Inhale, I cannot force a yes. Exhale, I can offer my best with dignity. 2 or 3 rounds, that's all. It's not magic, it's alignment. You may worry about the gap on your resume. Fine, fill the gap with truth. In your next interview, say it plainly. While searching, I built X to help Y. I learned Z, I volunteered here. I taught myself this. That's not spin, that's your character on paper. Someone hiring you isn't just buying skills. They're betting on a way of being. Show them yours. What if months pass and nothing bites? Then the third door does its deepest work. You do not give suffering the last word. You give your response the last word. Maybe you pick up a bridge job that isn't glamorous, but protects your family and your peace. That's not failure, that's strength. Maybe you change industries. That's not starting over. That's bringing your mission to a new field. The map can change without the compass changing. Think of the people who carried meaning through disaster. They're not superhuman. They do ordinary things with stubborn purpose. They wake, they choose, they serve, they rest. They laugh even when heavy. They refuse the sentence, I am nothing now. They replace it with I am the person who chooses. And they keep choosing until the door opens. One last story to hold. Picture a worker who loved mentoring juniors, smoothing conflict, making a team feel safe. The layoff took their title, but not their mission. So they start a weekly open call for recent grads, free advice, real feedback. They write a short guide to first weaken the job skills and share it openly. They become a small, steady light for the anxious. 2 months later, who reaches out? A manager from a company they've never met, saw your work. We need exactly that here. Did the universe reward good behavior? Maybe it's simpler. Meaning makes you visible to the right people. Even if that message doesn't come this week, hold this. Your worth is not on probation. You don't earn the right to exist by carrying a laptop into a certain building. You had worth before your first paycheck, and you carry it now. Frankl would say it this way: everything can be taken except one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose your attitude in any set of circumstances. That freedom is in you, even now. So breathe. Put the box down. Place the mug on a new desk the kitchen table will do. Write your 3-sentence values contract. Make one useful thing before noon. Call someone and listen. Choose one attitude where it hurts. Tonight, write one line. Here's how I lived my mission today. Then sleep. Tomorrow, do it again. Jobs end, titles fade. Missions travel. You are not unemployed in meaning. And when the next door opens, it won't be the building that gives you back your identity. It will be you meeting the world with a steadier soul and a contribution you can't lose.